The Galactic Defense Academy's training facility buzzed with nervous energy as recruits from 17 different species prepared for their first day of combat simulation. Among them, Zextai of the Velarin Empire stood nearly 3 meters tall, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the artificial lights. His forearms flexed confidently as he surveyed the other recruits with barely concealed disdain. "Pathetic," he muttered in his clicking native tongue, watching a group of smaller beings struggle with their equipment. His compound eyes fixed on two particular figures near the weapons rack, a human male and female, both impossibly small by his standards. The male appeared unremarkable, with brown hair and an average build, while the female was even smaller, her blonde hair tied back in a practical ponytail. Zextai's mandibles clicked with amusement. Humans, the so-called Deathworlders from the heavy-gravity planet Earth. The reputation was laughable. These tiny, soft-skinned creatures couldn't possibly be as dangerous as the stories claimed. Their home world might have harsh conditions, but they looked fragile enough to break with a casual squeeze. Commander Yilvaz, a seasoned Carathian warrior with scarred purple skin, called the group to attention. "Today, you will learn close-quarters combat techniques. Partner assignments are posted on your datapads. Remember, this is training, not warfare. Controlled aggression only." Zextai checked his assignment and nearly laughed aloud. He was paired with Marcus Chun, the human male. This would be over quickly, and perhaps he could demonstrate proper combat technique to these inferior species. As the pairs spread across the training mat, Zextai noticed the human female Sarah, according to the roster, sparring with a Catharion whose crystalline body structure made him naturally brittle. The human moved with fluid precision, easily avoiding the alien's clumsy strikes while delivering controlled counterattacks that sent clear messages without causing real damage. "Interesting," Marcus said beside him, following Zextai's gaze. "Sarah's going easy on him. Back on Earth, she was a mixed martial arts champion and gymnast. Could probably take down half this class without breaking a sweat." Zextai's 4 eyes rolled in unison. Human bravado was as legendary as their supposed toughness. "Your species excels at exaggeration, human. That small female could not harm a juvenile Velarin, much less a trained warrior." Marcus's expression grew cold, but his voice remained level. "I'd be careful making assumptions about humans, especially about Sarah. We might surprise you." "Surprise me?" Zextai's mandibles spread in what passed for a grin among his species. "The day a human female poses a threat to me is the day I surrender my warrior's crest." The sparring session began, and Zextai quickly demonstrated why the Velarin were feared across 3 star systems. His 4 arms moved independently, creating a whirlwind of strikes that forced Marcus into pure defensive mode. The human was faster than expected, Zextai admitted grudgingly. But speed meant nothing against superior reach and strength. After several minutes of one-sided combat, Commander Yilvaz called for a rotation. Partners would switch, allowing everyone to experience different fighting styles and physical capabilities. Zextai found himself facing a nervous Aquilian whose gills fluttered anxiously, while Marcus moved to spar with a Corran recruit. But Zextai's attention wasn't on his new opponent. Across the mat, he watched Sarah finish her bout with elegant efficiency, helping her defeated partner to his feet with genuine concern. The display of weakness disgusted him. Warriors did not coddle their conquered foes. When the Aquilian managed to land a lucky strike on Zextai's lower left arm, the Velarin's temper flared. In one swift motion, he grabbed his opponent by the throat with his upper right arm and lifted the gasping alien off the ground. "Zextai, stand down!" Commander Yilvaz barked. But the Velarin was already releasing his victim. "Apologies, Commander. The creature caught me off guard with an illegal move." The Aquilian wheezed on the mat, clearly struggling to breathe. Without hesitation, Sarah broke from her group and rushed over, kneeling beside the injured recruit. Her hands moved with practiced medical precision, checking his breathing and pulse. "He needs medical attention," she said, looking up at the commander. "Possible windpipe damage." Zextai snorted. "The weakling will survive. Perhaps next time he will fight with honor instead of relying on cheap tricks." Sarah's head snapped toward him, her green eyes blazing with fury that seemed completely disproportionate to her small frame. "He's unconscious, you oversized insect. What part of training exercise didn't you understand?" The insult struck Zextai like a physical blow. No lesser species had ever dared address him with such disrespect. Around them, the training facility fell silent as every recruit and instructor turned to watch the confrontation. "You will apologize for that comment, human female," Zextai growled, "or learn why your species' reputation is built on lies." Sarah rose slowly, her posture shifting into something that made Marcus take an unconscious step forward, but she waved him back without breaking eye contact with Zextai. "I don't apologize to bullies who hurt people smaller than themselves," she said quietly. "Especially not cowards who hide behind size advantages." Zextai's vision tinted red with rage. His upper right arm shot out like a striking serpent, intending to grab the insolent human by her throat and demonstrate the difference between their species' capabilities. His claws never reached their target. Sarah moved with inhuman speed, her right hand snapping up to catch his descending wrist. For a split second, Zextai felt confusion rather than concern. Surely this tiny creature couldn't actually stop his strike. Then physics and biology crashed together in a symphony of snapping chitin and grinding joints. The human female's grip was like a fusion vice powered by a collapsed star. Zextai felt the exoskeleton around his wrist begin to crack under pressure. That should have been impossible for something her size to generate. But worse than the crushing grip was what happened next. Sarah pivoted on her left foot, using Zextai's own momentum and the leverage of his extended arm to spin him in a direction his shoulder joint was never designed to accommodate. The Velarin warrior, who had dominated battlefields across the galaxy, found himself airborne and completely helpless as 3 meters of armored alien was hurled through the air by a human female who barely reached his chest. He hit the training mat with a sound like a shuttle crash landing. Pain exploded through his upper right shoulder as ligaments snapped and the joint separated with an audible pop that echoed through the silent facility. His arm hung at an unnatural angle, completely useless. Sarah stood over him, not even breathing hard. "Earth's gravity is 1.3 times galactic standard," she said conversationally, as if discussing the weather. "We develop accordingly. Our bone density is roughly twice that of most species. Our muscle fibers are significantly more efficient, and our reaction times are optimized for a world where everything wants to kill us." Zextai tried to rise but gasped as fresh agony shot through his ruined shoulder. The human female crouched beside him, her expression shifting from cold fury to professional concern. "Don't move. You've got a complete shoulder dislocation and probable ligament damage. The medical bay can fix it, but you'll be in rehabilitation for months." She looked up at Commander Yilvaz. "Permission to escort the injured recruit to medical, sir." The Corran commander, who had seen combat across half the galaxy, nodded with something that might have been respect. "Granted, Recruit Chun. Well-executed throw, by the way. Textbook application of leverage and momentum." As medical personnel arrived with a hover stretcher, Marcus knelt beside his friend. "You okay, Sarah?" She flexed her right hand, examining her knuckles. "I'm fine. He's lucky I didn't use the full Earth standard grip strength. Would have crushed his wrist completely." Zextai, now strapped to the medical stretcher and heavily sedated, could only listen as the two humans walked away discussing dinner plans as if they hadn't just redefined his understanding of the universe. Commander Yilvaz addressed the remaining recruits, his voice carrying across the silent training facility. "Let this be a lesson to all of you. Never underestimate a species based on appearance. The humans earned their reputation as Deathworlders through 10,000 years of surviving on a planet that actively tried to kill them every day. Respect that experience or learn from it the hard way." As the medical team wheeled Zextai toward the door, he caught one final glimpse of Sarah helping the Aquilian he had injured, her gentle hands checking the alien's breathing with the same precision she had used to destroy his shoulder. The contradiction made his head spin almost as much as the pain medication. 6 months later, after extensive rehabilitation and a significant adjustment to his worldview, Zextai would request transfer to the human combat training program. His shoulder would never fully recover, but his respect for the species from the death world called Earth would remain absolute for the rest of his long life. The scar tissue served as a permanent reminder that in the vast galaxy, size meant nothing compared to the forge that had shaped a species' evolution. And Sarah Chen had been shaped by the most unforgiving forge of all,